Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fringe Coverage. This podcast profiles the stories, swings, and stars of the LPGA Tour. And whether you're new to women's golf or a longtime fan, hopefully this podcast helps you develop your own rooting interest in women's professional golf. And believe it or not, we are back not with an interview this week. For those of you that have been listening loyally, thank you for listening to all the amazing interviews we've been bringing. But today, it's me and my boy Tom. It's been a minute since we've had a chance just to do some recaps, talk about the season, talk about some personal golf stuff. What's up, man? How's it going?
Like you said, it's been a long time. I don't even know if I remember how to do this. I mean, I'm so used to, actually putting on a collared shirt and speaking with a professional out here, but this is fun too.
I love that you're revealing your wardrobe choices, although you didn't wear a collared shirt for our last interview, which ended up being actually a very fun part of the interview. For those of you not knowing what I'm talking about, go back and listen to the Madeline Sagstrom interview, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We didn't do a recap last week. We were planning on releasing the Madeline episode this week, but I got hit with a kid being sent home from daycare and had to stay home with her. We had to move some things around, so we didn't get to do a recap of last week's Thailand event and preview this past week in Singapore. So rest assured, we will recap both in short order here of the most recent LPGA events. We're going to talk a little bit about some personal golf that we've had going on, and we will preview the China event coming up this week. But yeah, man, that was quite an impressive run we just went on with those interviews. Huge thanks to everybody that joined us, from Charlie Hull to Madeline Sagstrom to Gurleen Kaur, Haley Cooper. I'm sure Big Randy from No Laying Up, Justin Ray, Brooke Matthews. Shout out, Brooke was starting to play really good golf. But man, we've received some really good feedback from the LPGA, from the players and agents themselves. Anything that sticks out to you during the course of any of those interviews?
Yeah, how just accessible they are. I mean, everyone who's joined us on this podcast has been so much fun and so open with what they have to say and their experiences. And kudos to you for a lot of the good questions. And also, it just kind of, I feel like, once we get going with it, they really kind of like settle in and they feel a little disarmed, and they're willing to kind of open up and give us their experiences. So it's been a lot of fun talking to them and learning about them.
I think it's interesting too in our format. Like, they're so used to giving post-round pressers that they kind of just need to give their sound bites and get out of the way for the next person. And there's not a lot of time to like expound, or we're reaching out to them saying, hey, we want to give you the platform to get more fans and push the LPGA, which at first might just sound like lip service, but once they get on, they can kind of see, all right, these guys are just honestly casual fans that want to talk more about it. I thought the Madeline episode was amazing. Shout out to Madeline for not only being so generous with her time, but being really open about a lot of things, golf and not related. Brooke was a blast. Gurleen, I am now like loyally following everything she does on social media. It's just been a really fun.
I haven't had Chipotle since we spoke to Gurleen.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're listening to, go back and listen. And since we've met, I think Big Randy had his baby over at No Laying Up. So I'm sure he's out rollerblading the streets of Denver with baby in tow. It's been a fun run. Rest assured, we are going to do plenty more interviews. We've actually got quite a few in the chamber. We're recording another couple here in the next few weeks. We'll give you some teasers. We got more players. We got some potential captains of Solheim Cups. We've got club manufacturer reps. We've got potential USGA reps, maybe tournament organizers, sponsors. We're going after any and everyone. So if you have suggestions for who you'd like to hear us interview, again, email us at fringecoverage@gmail.com. We do check that inbox regularly, and we do appreciate your feedback. Anything else stand out from the first 3 months of the year, Tom, where we really haven't done much chopping?
No, man, let's go. We even saw each other a couple times. We played a round of golf together. So yeah, stick around to the end to hear about that.
Yeah. So again, we're going to do a quick recap here of both the Thailand and Singapore events. Then we'll take a quick break, do some personal golf stuff like Tom just mentioned, and then we will preview the Blue Bay LPGA event happening this week. So let's rewind the clock 2 weeks ago to the Honda LPGA Thailand. Jeeno Tittakun wins her home event. Number one player in the world. Beach Chisato EY, now Chizzy EY. Still got to get used. Sorry, Tom. Apologies to your girl Chizzy. In her home tournament in Thailand. Just as, again, kind of the birdies and bogeys that have all, Jeeno started the day with a 3-shot lead. Chizzy made an early charge on the front nine, but stalled out. I think parred her last 9, 11 holes, something like that. Made it interesting, but every time she tried to do something, Jeeno kind of hit the gas. Jeeno turned 23 years old during this tournament.
That's cool.
Which means she won 3 out of her last 5 events. And I think one thing I called out maybe twice last year that I'm going to have to eat a little crow here. After Jeeno four-jacked that green at Kroger and choked away that win to Charlie, I had some comments about, hey, Jeeno's great, but Jeeno's really good in a chasing capacity. I like her being in second or third place going into the final round, and I don't know how I feel about her holding on to a lead down the stretch. Jeeno did that for the entire final round and looked great and really didn't look like it was much in question either. So, but she could win. She can win on a lot of different surfaces and a lot of different circumstances, and she proved she could win a dogfight. So, Jeeno, huge congrats on doing that. There has to be a lot of pressure winning that event too, in Thailand with all of her friends and family there. With this is the first season she's gone into with the #1 ranking, right? She earned it midway through last year. She passed Nelly, and she's growing that lead quickly here. Did you get to watch any of this tournament, Tom?
I did, because of the late viewing window. I was able to I stayed home a couple nights and got to watch it around whatever, like 8, 9 p.m. our time. So that was interesting. I mean, even, most times I was, had it on with no volume because my wife was sleeping, but I was watching it and enjoying it because, I rarely do get a chance to watch tournaments during the weekend. So that was kind of a cool thing. One thing that you did mention is that she turned 23 during the tournament. I think her birthday was that Friday. Yeah. So first off, I got to imagine that'd be pretty cool to be able to celebrate for somebody who travels around the world constantly, to be home on your birthday. I would, I'm a big birthday guy, as you know.
Yes, you are.
I think that's a fun thing that she actually gets that. She did have one quote at the end of her tournament that I could not stop laughing at. So the moderator asked her, "What does it mean to you to win in your home country of Thailand?" She said, "Like I said, it means a lot. I mean, like, it means a lot to my family, especially my mom is here, and my grandfather and grandmother is here. Like, everyone in my family is here, except my sister, because she's lazy." So so I was thinking, again, as a big birthday fan, so to have a sibling have a birthday, like, it's cool, but you're not getting the attention, and your sibling is also the #1 golfer in the world, and then to get called out on national TV, worldwide TV, about being lazy, just shout out to Jeeno's sister, because she's that's a tough look for her.
I don't even know how to react to this. So I'm very curious, like, the backstory here, right? Like, what does Jeeno's sister do? Where does she live? Yeah. What precluded her from being there? I also wonder, as a reminder, English is a second language to Jeeno, and I always wonder when things break down in translation, especially for kind of a static, like, is it what she meant? Jeeno's English is really good, so I doubt there was any issues here. But interesting that Jeeno didn't choose to throw any more context, although if I was going to talk and throw shade, that's exactly how I would have done it. Like, if I won a golf tournament and you weren't there, I would have very much under my breath been like, yeah, everyone is here, except Tom, and just left it at that and make people wonder. I kind of like that she's making people guess what the heck the backstory is there.
Yeah, I mean, sibling rivalry, even if you're the #1 player in the world, you got to throw some shade if you can at your sister. That's good. Did you get a chance to watch?
I did. Like you said, that viewing window starting at 6, 7 p.m. our time is awesome. We don't have a TV in our room, but our TV room's right outside our master bedroom, and I'm an AirPods guy now, so I don't worry about volume, so I can listen. It's been so nice. Just my wife turns in, I watch another hour or so of golf before I go to bed, and kind of gives me more context. Because sometimes, honestly, the U.S. tournaments are harder for us to follow on work days, things like that. Again, this isn't our day job. And we find our time to be able to do this. But I think a couple notes there. I think the biggest thing, this came on the heels, if you remember the way remember, this is a really funky start to the season. It's a start-stop. We had the Tournament of Champions in Orlando to start the year, which again is a limited field event that got shortened to 54 holes because of weather cancellation, and we well documented the drama that was attached to that. Then they go straight to Asia, and Nelly Korda doesn't even play the Asia swing, and and then they're going to be back here in a couple weeks. It's this weird frenetic start stop. Is the season really started yet kind of thing? But amidst all of that, the first event of the year in Orlando, Nelly wins. The second professional women's event of the year was actually the PIF Saudi Ladies International on the LET, which Charlie Hull won, which launched her to be the number 3 player in the world. Reminder, Nelly, who won the first, is number 2 in the world. And now the third event of the year, the number 1 player in the world won. So that means first 3 of the events of the year, numbers 1, 2, and 3 in the world are your winners. Is there any better start to this season than that?
I think on my New Year's wish list, that's what I asked for. I wanted the cream to rise to the top, and there you go.
Let's go. And now I want to see them play together because neither Jeeno nor Nelly were in the one that Charlie played. They were all out, I think, in Orlando. But again, that wasn't even a full 72 holes. Nelly's not here in Thailand, so I want to see them all get back together quickly in the States to see how, and hopefully that cream does continue to rise. But hopefully that is a harbinger of things to come, of the cream rising and not having another season like last year where we just had a new winner each week, and first time as winners at that. Last thing, our picks. We'll do this again for Singapore just because I'm gonna get to rub it in twice today. But our picks that week, you had Se Young Kim. And I had Jeeno Titakun, so I picked the winner, which certainly helped. Not exactly going to take a lot of credit for picking the number 1 player in the world, but like we just said, it's hard to win any event, much less your home event on your birthday. So I'll take my victory lap there. Anything you want to say there, Tom? You just want to move on to the next thing?
Congrats, Mark. I mean, the one thing I don't like, because we can fast forward to this week. I'm out on Saturday night, and I get a text from Mark gloating about winning. I was like, what the hell? It's not even, because obviously the tournament's wrapped up on Sunday over there, but it's still Saturday night out here. And I go, well, that's a great way to go to sleep to end the month of February with Mark gloating at me. Didn't care for that much.
Hey, just pick better and you don't have to worry about it.
You're better at this than I am. Very easy.
Yeah, I remember how you don't get to use that anymore. You went on a heater to end the season last year, so we're in equal standing now. You know who the players are.
But I'm also sandbagging. Like, yeah, you use Jeeno, but you're not going to get to use her again for a while, so...
No, that was very strategic. Plan. We said that you have to wait, 5 weeks between starts, which why not use the number 1 player as much as possible during the course of the year and far enough away from a major that I don't lose her. So if you think for a second that wasn't strategic, I'm maximizing those Jeeno points. All right. Go. To that end, let's move to the next week. This past week in the HSBC Women's World Championships, this was in Singapore. Like Thailand, it was hot, dude. All the umbrellas were up. It got real warm out there. And these are sun umbrellas, not the rain umbrellas they were using in Orlando. This is colloquially known as Asia's Major. A ton of fans come out to this event, show really good support, really good purse. Australia's Hannah Green holds on to win by 1 over Austin Kim. She made kind of a meaningless bogey on the 18th to make it look closer than it was. It was really a 2-shot lead, but she kind of she basically 2-putted from 8 feet to win by 1 over Austin. This is Hannah's second time winning this event. When we were doing our picks, which we'll get to in a second, I was debating between my pick and Hannah just because her course history was absurd. But I was like, I haven't seen much out of Hannah. Shame on me. Here she goes. But there were signs. One thing I looked at later, I wanted to see how she was performing leading into this event. She led the field in putting in Thailand the week before. And it's just, when you ball strike as well as any of these girls do, if you go on a heater putting for more than 1 week, you're going to be top 10ing your face off for a while. And Hannah definitely rode that. So I mentioned Austin Kim. Man, Tom, Austin Kim finished second place with probably her C-plus game. So Austin bombs the ball. I got mad that you drafted her on your team. Obviously, I've been very outspoken about how much I like Austin.
That was a spite pick.
Well, good one, man, because she had her chances this week and somehow still finished second. I truly have no idea how she finished second. Her short game was not great. She missed some important drives. She just, in the big moments, didn't do exactly what she needed to do, and yet she would pull off late eagles and birdies to make a late charge. Really impressed with her. She averaged 297 yards off the tee in the final round. Remember, Tour average is 257. She's blown it by 50 yards. Some of the people she's in her own group. She probably averaged like 285 for the week, but on the final round when she had to go for it, she averaged just under 300 yards a drive. That's outrageous statistics in the women's game. Outrageous. But yeah, Hannah's a former major winner. Someone who has kind of gone up and down here in the last couple years. She won. We're not only a few years removed when she won 3 times in a season. So Hannah, I think, hopefully is making a resurgence. Australians are looking real good right now, man. Between Minjee, between Hannah, between who am I forgetting? Grace winning the Evian last year. Like they're definitely having a moment, and that still doesn't even include Steph Kiriakou and Gabby Ruffles and everybody else.
Was she on the International Crown team?
Who's that?
Hannah Green?
Yeah.
Did
So
well
their
on that as
4
well?
was it was Hannah, Steph, Grace, and Minjee. So kind of same question. What'd you get to watch of this tournament this week?
This one, not as much. I watched a little bit of day one. I did have a question for you about this tournament. So there were a lot of T10 finishers.
Yeah.
So if one person finishes T10 or if 10 players finish T10, do they get the same amount of points?
No. So that's why if you're 11th and you make a putt to get tied for 10th, it's a big increase for you versus if you're 9th and you bogey to get to the 10th, it's a reduction. Basically, in this case, if there are 10 people tied for 10th place, they would share 10th through 19th money. So it's already 10th place gets this, 11th gets this, 12th in the scale. You combine all of that, then evenly distribute it amongst the 10 people. So obviously, if you got solo 10th, you would have made more, but because you were in a tie. So yeah.
Well, so prize money and ranking points?
Ranking points you don't share. You get the 10th. It's the same as a 10th.
Okay.
But yeah, cool. the money gets distributed evenly. So in this case, they all made about 50K. Whereas, let's see, T8 was 70K, so about 20K difference there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite a few people. Lottie snuck her way into got a sneaky top 10. On that note, a couple interesting call outs here. I'll go down the leaderboard just briefly. Besides Hannah and Austin, Minjee, first tournament out of the gates this year. This again, she did not play those first few. Tied for 3rd. Again, didn't play her best golf, but that's a pretty nice way to start the season. I saw a note. I think is Minjee 4th right now in the rankings?
Yes.
If that's the case, if she goes, I was hoping she was going to play this week in China, because if she won, that would mean like the top 4 players win the first, if she had won Singapore, the top 4 players would have won the first 4 events of the year. That would have been a heck of a streak to continue. Mimi
the complete
Rhodes,
opposite of last year where it was all first-time winners or all individual winners, yeah.
Pauline Roussan-Bouchard, who I believe Grant Boone said should be your favorite player. Pauline got her best ever finish, getting a T3. I believe T7 was her best ever before this. Angel Yin, another great finish. Heidan Ryu, Lindy Duncan, Rio Takeda, Aki Iwai. And then here's all of your tied for 10th. Miyu Yamashita, Lynn Grant, Andrea Lee, Lottie Wode, Esther Henselite, Julia Lopez Ramirez, Mimi Rhodes, and Charlie Hull. Again, Charlie and Lottie did a lot of work on Sunday to get into that final top 10. Mimi, this was her LPGA debut. This is a rookie playing in Singapore against the best in the world and gets a T10. Spoiler alert, I did not choose her this week, but I heavily considered taking a flyer on Mimi in China this week with a depleted field. I got one note on this tournament. It was horrifically slow, like embarrassing when a TV viewer notices it. So we're coming down to crunch time. I'm watching Austin Kim on 15 or 16. I think it was 15. She gets to the tee box, and all of a sudden they're all just have that body posture of like waiting for the group in front of you, like resting on their clubs, talking to their caddies. I'm like, they haven't even teed off yet. Why are they resting? The group just is still like lining up the furthest away putt. Like they all still have 2 putts to come. They waited for 8 minutes on that tee box. Imagine being 15 holes into your round and then waiting 8 minutes. I don't know how long they'd been waiting, but it was a glacial pace. This cannot happen. If the LPGA, I'm going to have some takes in a second about the broadcast, but let's just get ahead of this now. If the LPGA wants new viewers, they cannot be known as the slower of the 2 professional golf tours. Men's golf is a good pace. women's golf needs to be faster, not slower if they stand a chance. Because what do I want to do? Tune in to watch the Golf Channel? Hey, great that there's coverage, but if I'm watching someone eating a banana and not swinging a golf club, something's wrong with that product. It was, again, as a viewer to watch that, and you can't cut away to somebody else, that shows you how slow it is out there. It was rough.
So, I mean, was there a review, or was there something that really slowed things down, or were they just, the players were just kind of playing at a slower pace?
I think both. I think from what I heard about 3 holes earlier, there had been a slowdown where someone in the group ahead of them was maybe waiting on a ruling and had to go back and play a second shot. But again, that stuff happens and you need to play your way through it. But final rounds historically on LPGA get slower because they're taking more time on all of that. So unfortunately, this is not an anomaly and it has to be better. And then just to wrap our picks, this time around, you had Lydia Ko and I had Hyoju Kim. Up and down week, man. We came out of the gates. We were both close to the lead at one point. We were both close to if there was a cut line, we would have been close to that. And I think for most of end of Friday, all day Saturday, and till the 18th hole on Sunday, we were tied. And then your girl Lydia bogeys 18 after I've texted you alerting you to the fact that you just need a par for us to push or birdie to win. I did not have bogey in the cards, but I realized later the 18th in Singapore was playing really hard. And Lydia missed a putt, probably about a 4-foot putt.
See, I didn't mind that you wrote Lydia just bogeyed 18. It was the emoji that you used afterward. Like you were gleeful about it that Lydia missed the putt.
You know what? I'm going to try to. I don't want to. What's the line from Remember the Titans? I don't want to give up another yard. I don't want them to gain another yard. I don't want you gaining a single point the rest of the year. I'm going to clean up this year.
All right. I have to do a side bet on that.
So we're going to get into our personal golf here in a second, but I do, man, I insert rant. You have anything before I go on a rant?
I don't really like Remember the Titans that much.
Whoa! Now I have 2 rants to do. Oh man, do you want me to do the rant about what?
Like, are you telling me that Remember the Titans is better than Varsity Blues?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You're saying, I'm sorry, are you comparing those 2 movies, or are you on its own merit saying Remember the Titans is not a good movie? Those are 2 very
I've only
different
seen
things.
it once, I think, and I remember it being okay. Like, it was fine.
You have homework.
You look upset.
You are allowed to miss coverage of the LPGA this week because I need you watching Remember the Titans.
Is that a good kids movie? There's a car accident death, correct?
Yeah, I mean, your kids aren't super young. I mean, there's a lot of racial affairs in it. Like, the whole movie is about, segregation and breaking those walls down. So there's some tough scenes. I think it's a fantastic movie. I think Denzel is amazing in that movie. That assistant coach, whose actor name I always forget, I think is amazing in that movie.
So let me walk back. I don't dislike it. I just don't hold it up as like one of the best sports.
There's no way you
movies.
could if you've seen it once.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's my thing. So maybe I have to go back.
You know what? If you watch it a second time and you have that take, I'm good with you just having a different take. I'm okay with that. But I need you to watch it a second time.
Okay.
Before you bring all that smoke. Speaking of smoke, Tom, I'm going to preface this by saying I think we are very fair and we have been very complimentary of the LPGA Tour in recent months with what they are trying to achieve with broadcast enhancements, schedule changes, and I know things aren't going to change overnight. Full stop, deep breath. That being said, the broadcast, I'm speaking specifically for Singapore, but I felt this a little bit in the Thailand event. There was no juice to this broadcast. It was so rough to watch from a lack of energy perspective. My wife walked out of the room, and not like in a huff, but it was the most boring watch. Like, my wife watches men's professional golf with me and won't watch women's golf because it's so boring. And it's not because they're bad golfers. And I've been trying to put my finger on it. So as I watched the broadcast, I took notes because I was like, I'm going to forget all the things that I'm experiencing. I've always thought, and we've talked about this, without fans, that hurts a ton because you hear cheers and you hear big moments. It certainly impacts the on-course experience, but forget that there's not that many fans there right now. I'm not going to address that today. The lack of on-course fans definitely contributes, but the broadcast, and I'm going to put, the LPGA slash golf channel isn't doing itself any favors because they're drawing way too much attention to the silence by not doing things either to pipe in sounds, music, something. So here's all of the things. Number one, the broadcasters are very well versed and very knowledgeable about golf. They could not be more sedate. And I'm a big fan of Sophie Walker on the course. I think she does a great job. But Tom Abbott, Kay Cockrell, they're all great. They're so good at golf and they're so good at talking about, hey, this pin is tricky today. But there's so much lack in energy. And when the broadcast is already going to show you a lack of energy with a lack of fans, you're going to have to do a heavier lift as a broadcast team, including the broadcasters themselves, the on-air talent, to bring some excitement. So I think we need some energy. I think the LPGA Golf Channel, those networks need to start thinking about bringing in some high energy people to make this a different viewing experience. And I don't know what that means necessarily, but the broadcasters themselves just mimic the feel of the course, which is calm and sedate. The music, Tom, it sounds like when I was starting this podcast, I just looked up free download music for podcast intro. I swear to you, Tom, the music they play in transitions and in and out of TV breaks, here's my entire summation of everything I'm about to say in 5 words. The broadcast is like clip art for TV. They just take the shortest shortcuts everywhere they can. Of like, oh, here's some free music, here's some bad graphics, and here's some people that can talk about golf. Does this count as good coverage? And the answer is just like resoundingly no. I love the LPGA, so I'm someone rooting for this. And I don't know who these decision makers are, so I don't know who I'm casting this at. It's just my general observations of what I walked away with. When someone goes like, I see you wanting to talk. I'm just going to fire Tom. If you have thoughts,
all the smoke.
Hold them.
Yeah.
Hold it. The replays, like let's say I hit a good shot and they're going to go back and show it again. They have these awkward, like lack of transitions. They just kind of like go back and show it again without showing like, first of all, very great sponsor opportunity, right? Like replay brought to you by whatever, just a quick wipe of the screen. It's like a PowerPoint wipe. It's something that you and I could do. It's like they literally took clip art and PowerPoint wipes and put it in a TV production. These are the best female golfers in the world. They deserve something more than PowerPoint transitions between replays. Not to mention, I don't know if I walked in, whether I was watching something live or replay, that's how much it looks like the original product. And graphics that they do put out there are way too busy. The HSBC, every time they put out a graphic about past winners of the tournament or who's hot, it was just sensory overload of what you were looking at just from a visual perspective. There's this ongoing ad for girls golf, which again, girls golf is such a good, admirable cause of what they're trying to get young girls to grow the game and have more people get access to it. Tom, this ad they literally just put like glowing effects behind people, something you could do in Canva or in Microsoft Paint. It's embarrassing the way they're trying to push this stuff. Like someone's going to have to put some money into this somewhere, whether it's better talent. And I don't just mean the on-air talent. That could be the designers. That could be graphics people, whether it's producers. I know there is a lot to come. And I know that maybe some of this has to do with the fact that this is overseas and the FM, TrackMan, Golf Channel investment into more broadcast time. Maybe those don't take hold till they get back to the States, because obviously that's a pretty heavy investment to get that all those resources overseas. But this was a really tough watch for someone who's not looking for much right now. I just want to watch the golf, and that's sadly exactly what they're doing. They're just showing the golf with, but I think they have to do more than that now, because if they're not going to have good crowds, they're going to have to do something to at least mimic energy and kind of fake it till you make it with some way. And that's a lot to ask. I don't know how to do that, and I don't love complaining without a great suggestion, but it was a really tough watch. I'm going to take a deep breath. What do you got for me?
Okay, wow. That was a lot. I think I have 4 points, but keep me on track here. So, quick question. Was there a noticeable, a more sizable fan base at the Thailand event because Jeeno was there?
I certainly can't attribute to what role Jeeno had in that Thailand crowd. There was, I mean, again, I wasn't at either one of them. The way TV showed, it looked like there were more people in Thailand. Yeah. But historically, the HSBC gets a good crowd. It's just a good crowd, and the LPGA is still not something to create enough noise for there to be roars.
Got it. Okay. One of the things that I kind of keyed in on that you said, having like a more lively broadcaster. Like, I mean, I don't think you're talking about like a Gus Johnson who's just like losing his mind
I'm not
after every play.
against it, but yeah.
But something, it would be interesting if, kind of how like the PGA has the waste management tour, and it's just kind of agreed upon that these people go nuts when they're watching this, right? If we had like an alt broadcast or something where there are two commentators, one play by play, one color, and they are just having a lot of fun with it. And they are getting loud, and when somebody makes a nice shot, they don't just go, "Oh my gosh, what an incredible shot that was!" And they actually went crazy with it. I mean, I'm kind of pimping you to do this job eventually, Mark, because I think you do a very good job of it.
Right. But honestly, your Gus Johnson call isn't, I don't think that's far off. Because look, like, I think the LPGA is where the PGA was maybe 15, 20 years ago, of kind of more a golf clap approach to things. Follow etiquette. Golf is a strict, rigid sport, and we honor tradition. And I think the men's game has done a good job. They still have the best of the best broadcasters with great media training, but they know their inflection points of yes, and like big moments where they say a thing where it's like, oh, lovely putt. Like that's what you're hearing on the LPGA. And again, I don't think I like Tom Abbott. I like Kay Cockrell. I like Sophie Walker. I think they just need an additional element to round them out to bring, like, again, the bad example is like back in the day, Dennis Miller going into the Monday Night Football booth, right? Like we don't want this to become a joke by any stretch. That would be the absolute worst possible thing, is for the LPGA to be a laughing stock because they tried something, but they're going to have to try some stuff. And I think Commissioner Kessler has said as much, that they're going to take some swings and misses along the way. I'd love to see some of those swings in the broadcast booth.
Understood. There was one time where I think I was up watching it at like 9:30, and I wanted to send you a picture of like, hey, look, Mark, I'm watching it, and it's 9:30, whatever. I couldn't even get the scoreboard like on the picture that I was trying to take, because I felt like they went about 10 minutes. When I turned on the TV, I was like, well, who's winning this? I can't even tell who's in the lead right now. It just wasn't populating. So I'm watching the event, and there's a lot of flyovers, which, nice to show off the course and all that. And they would show some players here and there, and admittedly, I didn't recognize some of them. And I go, well, eventually they'll tell me who's golfing, or eventually they'll tell me who's winning. And it was about 10 minutes, I felt like. And I go,
whoa.
Okay. And then finally I got to, okay, let me take a picture of this and send it to Mark. And by that time, you were probably asleep or something. But anyway, yes, something like that, as simple as like, if I'm watching a golf event, I should be able to turn it on at any time, and within the first 3 minutes, find out who's in the lead.
Yeah. I think that's reasonable. What else you got?
I think that was it. You were cooking on that.
Okay. You said you had 4 points. It felt like 2, but okay.
That was 3. I can't think of my fourth one.
Okay. Well, again, we got this. This week is the last week in the Asian swing, and so hopefully we see some changes. We get back to the States, and here's a question for you. I do wonder. This is a cultural question, just littered with landmines. So take this for what it's worth, as I put you on the spot here. The Thai crowd and the Singapore crowd are very proper. Are very, very, as a culture, very calm, not gregarious, outrageous people, right? And as opposed to, traditionally speaking, U.S. fans who can be a little bit more rowdy, more rambunctious, boisterous. Choose your adjective, negative or positive. Again, use Bethpage as the example of there's Ryder Cups and there's Solheim Cups on foreign soil versus in U.S. soil. I do wonder if that lends itself to even being quieter. Does the same number of people in the U.S. sound different than the same number of people in Singapore? I don't know, but it's an interesting question from a cultural perspective.
That's a very valid point, I think. I
don't know.
Yeah, I've never been to Asia, nor do I know much about it. But from what I gather, yes. I mean, even from watching the players on tour, they seem more reserved. And golf is an inherently proper sport, where you're not really expected to emote like that.
Yeah,
the Bethpage was kind of like an anomaly where we just had like our worst representatives showing out that weekend. I wonder if you throw a bunch of Americans out there, if they're going to act the same way. And I guess time will tell when the tournament comes out here. But I would venture to say that any American LPGA fans are probably not the loud, boisterous waste management types.
Certainly not the waste management. And like, I think we even had that. For those of you that did not hear the Madeline Sagstrom interview, that was something she had been out there, and we asked her, hey, what's it going to take for the LPGA to get this? She's like, pump your brakes there. Like, I don't know if we want this. Yeah. She's like, I love the energy there, but I don't think we want that for the LPGA. And I think she's right. And again, people wearing wasted management shirts are kind of all you need to know about the tournament. But last year I had you do that homework assignment of like, what are ways to improve these tournaments? And we were talking about the Canada event by having hockey boards everywhere. Like, we need something to dress this up. I think they do a great job with on-course signage and things like that, but like, there's no energy. Like, honestly, mic up those cups like they did at the International Crown. Remember that when they had like those like tin cups or whatever?
Yeah.
Just do something for some sound, some audio. Pipe in bird sounds. I do not care. I will tell you though, there were some crazy birds in the background of both the Singapore and the Thailand event. It was like, it sounded like the Masters week when they have all of those bird sounds.
I noticed that too during the Thailand event. Yeah.
He was like, like, whoa, what is going on there?
Oh, look at you making, you're like a soundboard too. You got a Michael
yeah,
Winslow on
that
our hands.
that wasn't me. That was just a button I have on my keyboard. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break from the LPGA golf. We are going to preview China at the end here, and you might want to stick around because it's an interesting one. But Tom, I want to talk some personal golf. We've got two different things we want to talk about. First, you went out and played without telling anybody until after the fact. You went out and played a round of golf, and you did something I don't know that you've, certainly in my time, ever done. Why don't you share with the folks what you did and maybe a little bit of the backstory of why?
So I went out to Palm Springs, which is, in the desert, little inland California area, so a couple hours east of San Diego. And I played an entire round of golf without using a Texas wedge.
Whoa!
As we have discussed on air, definitely in depth during my personal player deep dive, I usually use a putter when I am in the rough 5 times around, I would say. Conservatively, we're talking about like on a full course where I'm not, more or less throwing darts onto a green. When I'm a little bit off the fringe, I will resort to using my putter. And I don't know what it was about that day. I said, you know what? I'm going to try to use my lob wedge to chip onto the green wherever I am. A couple days before, I hadn't golfed in probably a few weeks, so I went to the range to try to see if I could get a motion going. And I don't know what it was about me. I decided to do my normal thing, weight in the front, ball at the front foot, and then I decided to close my face a little bit. Usually I kind of have it a little bit more open, and I had my hands in front of the ball, and this motion was kind of working for me. And I said, okay. So then I went out to go play at Palm Springs, and I immediately I think I parred the first hole, and then I got a double bogey, and then I got a double bogey, and I go, well, this round's not going that well. Let me try something new. And I put away the putter, and I said, let me try chipping. And Mark, I was on fire with my lob wedge.
Really?
I was chipping so incredibly well. I was so happy with that round. I think I ended up shooting like 17 over or something like that, which isn't great, but still I was pretty happy with
for a round where you're testing a new thing. That's definitely within good score range.
And it's like kind of one of those things where, you go to Vegas for the first time and you hit blackjack on your first hand and you go, well, this is my new thing and I'm not going to do anything else because this is I'm hooked. So I was definitely hooked on chipping, and I was, almost gleeful when I was short of the green because I got to go chip again. But I think I'm going to stick with it. I think I really like it. I remember when we spoke with Haley Cooper and I asked her how often she did it, and she's like, no, I don't, that's not something that we normally do. And I was kind of joking, but she's like, no, you got to learn how to chip. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to learn how to chip. That's what Haley tells me. So, and she's from Texas, right, so she would know.
And I did finally find that link to the song she was talking about. You need to put it. I'll put that link in the show notes now that we have it, because it's a very funny song that I'd never heard before. Okay, so many questions. But before I ask any questions, nice job, dude. Like, it is so easy to say you're going to do something, then get out on the course and be like, yeah, but I don't want to try it in the middle of a round. We're not serious enough golfers that we're ever going to dedicate, like, hey, we're going to go do 5 chipping sessions before I go test this out. So if you're going to bite the bullet, you kind of have to bite the bullet. And you did that. And that is so much harder to do than I think we make it out to be. So let's start there. Awesome. I wish I had seen it. You mentioned, did you use only the same club the whole time? Was it lob wedge the whole time?
Yep. 60 degrees. Yep.
Have you dabbled with chipping with other clubs, or is lob wedge the only one you've ever tried it with?
Lob's my go-to. So
regardless
as we've
of
also
the lie
discussed,
or anything like that.
Yeah, as we've discussed in the past, I putt lefty. So that short little move, the putting motion doesn't really work for like a bump and run with me.
Got it.
I've played with, I have a cousin who played golf in college, and he's very good. And when he's around the green, he would use like I've seen him use anything between like an 8-iron and a 3-wood to do bump and runs, and he's very proficient at it. So I said, oh, I could try to figure this out, but I soon realized that I don't have that short little motion like I do with my putter going the other way. So rather than buy a lefty 8-iron, I figured, I might as well just learn how to chip with this lob wedge.
That is a very interesting wrinkle to being a left-handed putter and right-handed everything else. As you get into those shorter, more compact swings. Huh. Okay. So did you find yourself, how many times would you say you chipped that day?
10.
Oh, wow. Okay. How often were you in rough versus like first cut?
Yeah, that was probably about 50-50. And I would say that about 75% of my shots were probably I probably could have done just as well with a putter.
Sure. That's not the goal. That is not the goal first time. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it's nice to not have to clean a bunch of grass off my Scotty Cameron.
Off your putter face.
That's always nice. I do always feel a little weird doing like a slap shot with the nicest club in my bag. So I'm glad to not have to worry about that anymore.
This may be too specific of a question to pull real data from, but at least anecdotally, of those ultimately our goal with chipping long term should be a one putt from there, right?
Yeah.
How often would you say you did that of those 10 chips?
There were definitely there were 2 times where they were like gimmies.
Okay.
So I just go, cool. I just go over and pick up my ball because I didn't even need to go back to my bag to get the putter because it was such a nice close chip shot by me. So yeah, I would say probably more than 50% of the time.
Nice. Again, it's a win that you even tried it. Okay. So
and I only shot a plus 17 because I couldn't drive worth a damn. And going back to your point earlier about like just biting the bullet and wanting to try something. So I don't know if you're aware, like I do a baseball grip with my clubs. I don't interlock, I don't overlap, and I just go. Very aware. Everybody does an interlock or an overlap. I should probably learn how to do this, and I just go. But if I try, it's going to completely ruin my game. Way worse than me getting rid of a Texas wedge. I mean, that will probably add at least 20 strokes to my score. So I go, well, that's not happening. I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah. Interlock grip stuff should happen on the range. That I'll go back. Whereas we're not going to do dedicated chip sessions. If you want to, not that you want to, but if you wanted to explore not having your baseball swing forever, or your baseball grip, I should say, test that on the range. That can get real squirrely real fast.
Yeah.
Especially for someone who drives the ball decently well like you do. That could be that is a much larger investment on your part. That your game's going to have to go down before it comes up again, because that'll affect every club.
Right. Exactly.
You're not going to like just do it for a driver. Okay, well, that was about a week or two prior to then we go out, us two plus 2 of our golfing buddies. We got to go play around at a shorty course a few weeks ago here now. Anything you want to share about that round other than you beat me?
Well, that's a given. We didn't need to touch on that. That was probably your first round in...
Since August of the previous
8 months?
Is what we decided, yeah.
Okay, so about 6 months. How did it feel getting back out there? Because you've also, kudos to you, you've been hitting the range more often.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your first question, it was awesome, man. I assume by now listeners know how much I enjoy golf and everything around it. Playing it seems to be something that, again, if you hear me talk, you'd think I'm an amazing golfer because I know so much about golf, but man, it does not translate to on the course. It was so fun, dude. And maybe this will be short-lived, but when it's been a while, you're just appreciative to be out there, so you're not going to be angry about the bad shots or whatever. I had one shot that I was really pissed about late in the back 9, but it was just because I was starting to feel a groove, and it was just such an unforced error. But I hadn't played a round of golf. I played 9 holes in August, was the last time I played with my boss. And then since then, obviously, I had a kid, my second kid last year, and just life got in the way. And as you said, I decided to at least try to hit the range a little bit more. So I'd been to range, 3 or 4 times prior to that round over the course of the last month and a half, just to see what it felt like again. And I had the just absolute tin cup shanks going on the range, like 10 balls at a time shanks, intermixed with like the best 5-iron of my life. So I had no idea where the club face was, no idea what slot I was or was not in. It was exactly what you would expect of someone who hadn't played since August. And I was okay with it for once, as opposed to just being pissed the whole time that I didn't have it anymore. I think I said this to you on the course, maybe. I finally just realized what's different now is I can no longer rely just on general athleticism to come back from a long break. In my 20s and 30s, I took long hiatuses from golf, but stayed relatively active, or had things going on that my body certainly wasn't an obstacle by any stretch. Straight up, it is now. We make jokes all the time about whether it is. I can't even see half the time how far something is, but just the way, like, I don't have any chronic injuries or anything. I just am older, and I just am not the athlete I think I am, and I think I swing it. So I think that is. I'm going to start becoming. I'm not proud of this, but I think I'm going to be like a really good course manager type player. Like, I'm not going to be the one that bombs, but I'm going to be really smart all the time. And like, I'm probably going to be that person that just hits it 230 and straight and finds your ball, and then, has long irons in, but just my dispersion misses aren't bad, but I also will never go low kind of thing. I'm not fully accepting that, but I could see that in my future. But it was so fun. And again, our guys, we're there just to hang out. Golf is secondary to all of it. I think did I lose it to everybody that day? Like, it was not a good round of golf for me, but no less enjoyable.
Yeah. So that was Sunday the 22nd, and I feverishly tried to move that tee time because that was the gold medal USA Canada hockey game, and I was very upset that we agreed on that tee time probably a month earlier. Yeah. Not realizing that would have been the gold medal game. And so I was a little preoccupied on the first few holes, but once US won it in overtime, I was a little bit more relaxed, turned on the Real American Hulk Hogan theme song, and I think bogeyed the next hole. So it didn't work that well.
I'm still trying to figure out my role with you, because I came in saying, going into, like, I just want to be your hype man. I don't care about my golf, which it showed because I played horrible. But I'm not sure what you actually respond well to. It also didn't help that, like, you didn't start well, like that first hole or two, but you were also like checking your phone, watching the game, and like you weren't, whether you were having fun or not, like you weren't fully invested in the golf yet. Your mind was in two places. And I want so badly to be helpful to you shooting a great round, which maybe all I'm doing is just putting more pressure on you, and I should just leave it alone. But like
the split's interesting. I went plus 13, plus 7. So like I turned it on to the second, the back nine, but
yeah. And I do your plus 7 wasn't amazing golf. It was just sound, right? Like you weren't shooting birdies, and it was just your mistakes weren't bad.
Yeah. I think I got 0 birdies. So yeah, it was, I think I don't even, maybe I had like a couple pars. Yeah, I know it wasn't a great round overall, but like you said, shaking the rust off. We'll try to get back out there in a couple weeks. And it was nice watching you, do your thing, but I felt like you were a little bit more just, like you said, grateful to be there. You weren't so worried about the group behind us or keeping up pace with the group in front of us. That's not normally how you are. You're usually very diligent about that kind of stuff, but you were more just in the moment, having fun playing golf. So nice to see. Hopefully we can get out there again. I
was very aware of where we were at all times. Don't think for a second I wasn't thinking about that. We were just playing fine. But when we started playing slow,
I guess you weren't as vocal about it. So that's always a good thing.
Well, it's not worth fighting with people who don't believe we're slow.
Okay. Well, that's all I got.
It was fun. Like I played the next day. I played the next day as well. Got 9 holes in. I birdied my 9th hole. Like, it was like 160-yard par 3. Like, just kind of pretty. Everything's kind of right in front of you kind of hole. And just I hit it 170. Maybe 165. I had like a 20-yard downhill snake. Sunk it. Hadn't sunk anything all day. It was a blast. Played decent golf, and that was with like a. What did I have? Like a quad? Like it was a bizarre sequence of holes, but it was very fun.
I have another subject on this. I don't really want to bring it up now because I feel like we could really go for like 30 minutes on this. I find it interesting when I play with people and then they ask me what club I use, and then I guess I just don't really know what they would do with that information.
Because it depends on whether people know how you hit the ball or not. I know exactly how far you hit the ball.
I guess maybe you are pretty attuned to my game.
I got that exactly 10 yards further than me with almost every club.
Is that what it is? Okay, because
exactly.
Rarely, like if I say an 8-iron, like you're rarely also pulling an 8-iron. So I guess you're just kind of doing the math in your head and saying, okay, then I'm going to use. Understood.
So unless I think you're just like wildly off with your club choice, I'm using you as a draft. I mean, like it's just course knowledge for me. That's why it's illegal on the PGA and LPGA tour to solicit information from your playing partners about what they're doing, about what they're playing. Like you cannot go over. You're allowed to go look in their bag and see what's missing, but you cannot ask, nor can you share. Knowing this was a big Brooks Koepka thing a couple years back with Gary Woodland at the Masters about he was like flashing, hey, I hit 5-iron. Anyways, so when you say I'm hit, if we've got 145, or probably bad example, if we got 130 and you hit pitching wedge and you're there, I'm definitely pulling 9.
Okay, interesting.
But,
okay,
but yeah, if you don't know what
was...
someone hits, I don't know what. Like it's an empty question.
I
wouldn't do it with our other two
rules.
playing partners because I don't know their distances as well as I know yours.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah. All right.
All right, well, Mark, take me to China.
Yeah. We are going to the Blue Bay LPGA this week, March 5th through 8th. Again, this is another event because it's in China. The viewing windows are decent here in the States. There's some nighttime post-dinner watching. Ryo Takeda is the defending champ here. For those of you that don't know or don't remember, Ryo shot 64 in the final round last year and ended up winning by 6 over Minjee Lee. And just to kind of give you, we talked in our Madeline Sackstrom interview. We seem to be citing that one a lot. I mentioned the Founders last year. She and Rose went super deep, just the two of them, and the rest of the field just got blitzed. It's another one of those. Ryo beat Minjee by 6. Fourth place was 10 shots back. Like it was not they just lifted and separated. Ryo did. So we're back there this week. This is a weaker field. So a lot of those players played Tournament of Champions. And if they went down the Asia swing, they played HSBC and Thailand. Only 3 out of the top 20 players in the world are in the field this week. That means no Nelly, no Jeeno, no Charlie, no Lottie. Go down the list. The only 3 players in the field in the top 20 are Ronning Yin because it is her home event. Ryo Takeda only because she's the defending champ. And Heijin Choi. Like there's just not there's not a deep field this week, which means it's wide open. When it comes to our picks, I think it's going to be really interesting. You can take a flyer this week if you want to, just because we don't know these players quite as we do. Well, we know those other 20. We're going to get a peek at some rookies this week, Tom, and we did our player draft to start the year, and we each were forced to take a rookie. It's going to be our first look at both Riley Smythe and I think you have Yana Wilson.
Yes.
So this is their LPGA debut this week. We're also going to see Haley Cooper's LPGA debut, who interviewed with us a few weeks back. Melanie Green, who we're going to be talking to here in the next few weeks. A lot of rookies are going to get to cut their teeth on the Blue Bay course here in China. So I think it's going to be really interesting watching. Very different without the star-studded power, but again, maybe a chance for us to look at some of the midfield talent that's there.
They'll probably get more playing time. We can actually see them on screen more often.
Yeah, that's right. You'll see more than a shot or two.
Yeah.
How to watch the first 3 rounds, which again for us in the States is Wednesday through Friday, even though it's Thursday through Saturday in China. Wednesday through Friday, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Pacific time, the first 3 days on Golf Channel or USA. And then final round coverage Saturday night, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. Pacific on Golf Channel or USA. So with that, Tom, it's time to do this week's picks. I would like to continue my what do you call it? My streak here of winning?
Dominance.
Who's picking first, you or me?
You.
Okay, I am torn here, but I'm going to go with what I think is the safe money bet. I told you I thought about Mimi Rhodes this week. I really like the way she played, but it was her LPGA debut getting a top 10. I wonder if you back that up or if maybe you come back down to earth a little bit. I'm going to go with this past week's runner-up. I'm going to take Austin Kim.
Okay.
I think Austin... I said she got second place with her C game, dude. Like if she cleans up a few things in that short game, she bombs the ball. And this course is like 6,700 yards. Like it will benefit the longer hitters. She keeps it in play and tightens up that short game. I think Austin, again, with this depleted field, I think Austin should have I would expect a top 10 from her for sure.
I'm going with the defending champ. I'm going Ryo Takeda. I mean,
that was my other one. Those are the two I was debating between.
Oh, good. That makes me feel good because that means that's a good pick then.
I mean, it's hard to go wrong with Ryo.
Right. I think so.
good course knowledge. She played well, I think. Did she get a top 10 as well last week?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Every time I see any kind of like, I really value course knowledge, and every time I play a round of golf, I go, it would be really nice if I had played this course before, because just in the back of my mind, I go, anytime I play a new course, I go, if I played this course again, I would do 3 strokes better, because I know where to hit it, where to miss it, all that stuff. So give it to the woman with the defending champion, and it has all that course knowledge.
Yeah.
And she's probably pretty pumped going into it. So let's go. My first one of the season.
All right. Well, I like you getting. I think you will get a top 10. It'll be behind Austin Kim, but you will get a top 10. What else you got? Anything else you want to get off your shoulders after? I mean, shoot, it's been like 6 weeks of just interviews. Anything we haven't got to share with the folks?
No, I think I'm all good. I was gonna bring up to you. Did you happen to see that clip that came out this morning of Jazz Chisholm?
No.
The Yankees. No. Okay. He got a hole in one on a 324-yard hole, and he's like, zooming, or he's filming himself driving onto the green. He's super excited. He runs up to the hole, pulls out a practice ball from the cup, and he's super excited that he made it.
Like a range ball?
Like a range ball. And I mean, I thought of, our friend Brian immediately, but I was going to send it to you, but I kind of wanted to bring it up. The whole thing just seemed very weird. So, my question to you, you hit a hole in one. For some reason, you're using a range ball. Are you displaying the range ball?
I mean, you're assuming I'm displaying any ball I hit as a hole in one. I probably don't think I would do that.
You're not displaying a hole in one ball?
No, I don't. I'm not a display person. I don't put I don't.
Tattoo? Something?
No, like, I mean, I'd be super amped. Like, don't get me wrong. I guess I really do have something against holes in one, don't I?
Are you posting? Okay, how about this? Are you going to post it on Instagram? Are you going to post it on the Fringe Coverage Instagram?
On the Fringe Coverage one, sure. Not my personal one. People don't care about my golf. My wife was a professional runner for a long time, and there's one thing I learned. It was she and her friends always said to me, like, we know how much we obsess over, like, how much there is a difference between 7 seconds in a 5K time, but no one cares about it. Whether you ran 1540 or 1547, it might mean the world to you, but everyone else doesn't care. No one cares about my golf game. Like, maybe if you're listening here, you find this entertaining content, but people aren't living and dying by what my score was next time. So, like, I will carry that story forever of having a hole in one and who was there, and I'll tell it to anybody. But I'm an experiences person. I don't want tell you what, if this gets to a point where this is a bigger deal and we have a studio, I'll put the ball up. Until then, there's no place in my house for me to have a random golf ball framed. I'd rather have my kids' artwork.
I mean, do you have a desk at work?
Yeah, but I don't need to stare at a golf ball. Like, big deal.
All right. I mean, for a Zoom background or something. Okay, fine. Never mind. I guess I'm.
Could you imagine a Zoom background just had one golf ball? Nothing.
Mark,
else.
I guarantee you, if I get a hole in one, my background will be my range ball, my hole in one ball.
Okay. All right. Well,
Count
then keep looking for Zoom backgrounds, because you're never going to have that.
All right.
It's fun to do this again. It's been a minute since we got to just catch up. I'm glad there's some golf to watch. I'm glad we're playing some golf. We're working on some fun plans right now. Stay tuned. We're going to try to be on site at a couple tournaments this year. Got some, I can't talk about them yet because they're not confirmed, but some potential awesome interviews coming our way outside the player space as well. So again, for all of you who've been listening, we really, really appreciate your feedback.
If you have suggestions for players or topics to discuss on the pod, send us an email at fringecoverage@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at FringeCoveragePod. And whether you're approaching from the fairway or the rough, we got you covered inside the Fringe.